We are here on King Spotlight with Monarch football coach Jeff Narr. Coach, thanks for being with us again this week.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, big MAC rivalry game, Kings versus Lycoming on Saturday. Very, very huge rivalry for both squads. The games have been very competitive in recent years. But quickly looking back at the previous 2 weeks when you guys last played, you had a game at Stevenson University. Tough road for the Monarchs, 3.5-hour trip, a lot of guys injured, came up a little bit short in the 13-7 decision. Talk about what happened at that game.
Yeah, we went in a little banged up, not healthy, but proud of the way the kids played. I mean, they didn't care next guys up and give great effort, and they battled and compete. And that's what we love about them. They compete like crazy, and they're resilient. And then we just didn't make enough plays, and then they kind of made one or two more plays than we did, and then clean that up. And we got to get a lot of guys experience and play. The bye week is good because it got us healthy moving forward, but now we have more experience, more depth as we head into the last game. The last 5 games, last half of the season from here. But it was again, the way our kids competed and battled, and not letting things distract them, was awesome to see. And then they played their best and gave everything they had, and we're going to build on that and move forward.
The last couple of games, our offense has been a little bit sluggish, only averaging 249.6 yards per game. There's been some injury problems, things of that nature. What's it going to take for that offense to get turned around to the talent that we think that we have?
One is the health, and the bye couldn't have come at a better time. When you kind of go in and you're down 2 to 3 offensive linemen, and then Tommy was making some good strides, but then he got hurt, and so then Zach's thrown into the fire for his first time, and then we were down a receiver, and a couple of receivers are banged up, and now a little more healthy, and try to build on, because we saw some improvement from FDU to Del Val, and then the injuries kind of curtailed that a little bit, and then we got to pick up from that deal and more consistency from there. And again, the bye week we started to see that, and then hopefully that can carry over. Last night was good, and carry over this week in the Lycoming, and just be able to be more consistent in what we're doing, and then which will enable us to execute better.
We're looking ahead to this week. As stated earlier, a very big game with Lycoming. They're one of the teams in the MAC that we have the longest history with. Very sound, very traditional program. Talk about the team's mindset coming off a bye week and going into that game.
Yeah, I mean, they're excited, for the second half of the season. As we're getting healthy, and they know, seeing the good things, they just need to do more of those good things. And then, a great test with Lycoming. And here again, Tadina's traditionally at the top of the MAC, a fundamentally sound football team that doesn't beat themselves. So, our kids know that they've worked hard in the bye week, and so far, this week in prep of working on their fundamentals and technique to make sure, they're doing everything correct. And be able to put themselves in a position to make plays when they're available and create plays, because Lycoming is a team that doesn't beat themselves.
Well, Lycoming enters the game 4th in the MAC in total yards with 354 yards per game. They have a new quarterback there this year in junior Chase Whiteman. He's completed 62 of 114 passes for 840 yards with 5 touchdowns. Talk about what he brings to the table.
He's athletic. I mean, they're doing a little bit more, run, and as the season goes on, he seems to be more confident back there. So they do some run, quarterback run, read type plays with him. But then the other thing too is he brings a dimension where if things break down and we don't keep contained, he's able to scramble and then make plays with his feet, or scramble and buy time with his with his arm. So he's an athletic kid who's you can see him getting better week in and week out.
Well, they also have 2 tailbacks who are doing a nice job for them right now. They have junior Blake Bowman, who leads the team with 431 rushing yards. And then there's sophomore Scott Palmer, who has 241 rushing yards. What type of kids are they? Do they have different styles? Are they very similar?
I think, similar from there. I mean, Bowman, he's a wrestler, was a good wrestler in high school. Tough runner. They're running, a lot of zone, and he hits the holes hard. I mean, they run hard, which is what always Lyco's tailbacks, always do, from there. And then, good vision, and then, but they can lower the shoulder and get the tough yards. But then, vision, and they don't need much of a crack. They're seeing the hit from there. But the one thing is, they're running zone, and there's a hole there. The one thing we're really impressed, especially with the Bowman kid, is that how hard he hits the holes and how fast he hits them.
What are the keys in this game for our defense and able to slow down that offense?
Yeah, I think with anything, Lyco, again, they, like to run the football and been pretty good at it. We got to, turn them into a one-dimensional, deal, like force them to, to throw the ball a little bit, from there and continue to put pressure. We've been happy defensively we've been able to get pressure on the quarterback, and our sacks are are way up from what they've been previously, and we're creating some turnovers. So we got to continue to be able to do those things, and then you can do those things well when you can have a handle on the run game, and force teams into doing things that they might not want to do when they have to do them.
The Lycoming defense is ranked 5th overall in the MAC in allowing 381.2 yards per game. They're 4th against the running, yielding 125 yards, and 9th against the pass. What do you need to do to get our offense in track?
Just execute, the scheme, and stay within the scheme from there. Because again, Lyco, they line up and they play. Again, they're extremely sound and fundamentally, tough on defense from that deal. And they're very stout, against the run. So we got to be able to establish the run game, and that'll be able to help us open up, the pass game where we can hopefully make some opportunities and make some plays. But we can't be one-dimensional, offensively. And sometimes in the past with them, they've been close games. And sometimes we've turned into where we had to be one-dimensional and throw it, and then that helps them. They'll bend but don't break. I mean, they're very good, defensively there. So we can get good balance. That'll help us, stay on schedule, possess the football, and hopefully finish drives.
Well, let's talk about a couple of Kings players while we're here. We have Jake Minetti, who in recent games has really shot up the tackle chart. He's currently ranked 2nd on the team with 32 tackles. Talk about the progress he's made in recent weeks.
Yeah, he's getting better. He's always in great position, and we've worked really hard to make sure he's in really good position for the tackle. Sometimes he's over pursued and been over aggressive and allowed the guy to cut back and miss. But when he does it everything right, he's right there at the line of scrimmage, and he's a physical kid. From a safety position that can help us, make the tackle and make a guy, tackle for a short gain or no gain. But then plus he's athletic enough that, he does a good job in space and in coverage for us as a secondary. So as a young guy, he's understanding our defense better and better each week, and he's in, really good positions to make the tackles, and then also, to make plays on the ball. I mean, he did a great job of Del Valle getting an interception, played it perfectly from there. So we give we like from our safety, somebody that can come in the box and make a tackle, but then also be in space and take care of balls thrown down the field.
Let's talk about another player on the defense, and that would be senior linebacker Chad Curtis. Chad missed all of last season with an injury, but has come back this year for a 5th year, and he's currently has 23 tackles and 5 tackles for loss with 2 sacks. So talk about the way he's been able to bounce back from injury.
Yeah, it's been a slow go, for Chad. I mean, it happened in May, and then by even last November he can barely, he could run straight ahead, but really couldn't cut. But he was determined to get 4 years of football, and his family was, and that was commendable because he's had a great experience here at Kings, and he wanted to play his last season. So he's come back and he's worked extremely hard, and you've seen the improvement because again his ankle still bothers him and curtails him, and then get the rust off. And then Stevenson game was his best game. I mean, he ended up being our dominator for defense for that game. I mean, he was making plays in the run game, covering guys in the pass game. So you're seeing that improvement and seeing the playmaking ability that he had as a junior started to come through in the Stevenson game. We're hoping he can stay healthy and continue to improve because he's a very good player and be a force for us at the outside linebacker spot the last half of the year.
Well, getting back to the Lycoming game, again, it's a big rivalry. What do you expect our fans to see when they come to this game on Saturday?
A really good, hard-nosed, physical football game. Two teams, going to get at it. I mean, Lyco, they try to punch you, in the mouth and be physical and establish and win the battle, at the line of scrimmage, from that deal. And then, they want to possess the football and finish drives. So you're going to see a close, physical, hard-fought contest, and then both teams then have the ability to, try to create big plays, and whoever makes the fewest mistakes is going to win the football game.
Ironically, this is going to be your first home game in nearly a month. The last time you played at home was September 19 in a big come-from-behind homecoming win against FDU in overtime. How excited are the players who finally get a chance to play back at McCarthy Stadium?
It's always nice to be at home. I mean, you had to go on the road for 2 weeks and the bye week, so it's been seem like a long time. Since we're home, but it's nice and easy because then your routine and your comfort level is all all the same and very high. So they're looking forward to again starting the second half of the year and be able to start it at home, against a traditional team in the MAC. They're excited for the opportunity on Saturday.
Okay, Coach, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for your time, and good luck to you and the Monarchs on Saturday when you host Lycoming College at 1 p.m. at McCarthy Stadium.
Thank you very much.